Today is a big day because it is the final sweet corn planting for 2024. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Wishwell Farms. Today we are experiencing a phenomenon that only happens about once or twice a month, and that is no dew. So that means it's going to be a great day for sweet corn picking. The crew's going to be here in about 15 minutes, and we got about 500 dozen ears of corn to pick out of this patch right here and the next one. So we got 36 rows that are ready to be picked this morning. Actually, this entire half of the field is pretty much ready to pick. I'm noticing some birds out here today. I hope they're not tearing up our sweet corn. They were non-existent yesterday, so I thought maybe we were in the clear, but I can see them and hear them. I'm gonna go get my shotgun and take care of these little pests. The bird balloons are in an old patch now. We are finished with this one, and the birds know it's an old patch, and they have moved on to fresher corn, and I need to stay on top of it before they destroy that next patch. But first things first, we're gonna pick about 500 dozen ears of corn this morning. Pretty good pick today. I'm guessing we got about 500 to 600 dozen. Next, we got to pack all this corn up into these green 1 3/4 bushel lugs. Normally we can get about 4 dozen in there. Did anybody count one today to see what we're getting?
I got like 43.
Okay, so it looks like it's going to be more like 3.5 dozen because these ears are pretty big. So we fill a tub. We stack it on a pallet 5 high and roll it in the cooler. The variety we picked today is Extra Tender 274A. That's the name of it. Doesn't have a name. Really good stuff, big ears, and the birds and the raccoons like it too. We're just about done with Extra Tender 274A. Tomorrow we're moving on to Signature, Ignition, Nirvana, and then after that we'll move into some Anthem and Caliber. All finished picking and packing the sweet corn. It's all in the cooler. We ended up with right at 600 dozen. So I'm pretty happy with the yield we got out of that patch despite some of the bird damage. There was hardly any raccoon damage and maybe 15 to 20% bird damage. But to be able to get 600 dozen out of one 24 row block of corn, not too bad. I have seen some more birds flying around out there. I think I'm gonna drive around with my Ranger and my shotgun and try to scare some of them off, maybe shoot some of the leader birds. Maybe that'll keep them out. I'll show you what 600 dozen looks like in here. So we ended up with 154 tubs of corn today. right at 600 dozen. Just picking some eggplant for a farmer's market. We like to use these shears. Real quick and simple. And they're beautiful this year. Some of the best eggplant I've ever grown. Just look at that beast. All right, got all the eggplant I needed. Now we need a peck, well, at least a half peck of jalapeno peppers. Just look at those cantaloupes. They are loaded with big, beautiful fruit ready to be harvested here at the end of the week. We actually found 2 ripe ones today. So when you start seeing your vines look slightly wilted, slightly stressed, and the melons are big like that, you know it's just a matter of time before they start turning. They're not stressed from water. There's plenty of moisture under the plastic. I've been watering them hard. But I gotta be careful about overwatering at this stage. If you give them a little too much water, okay, I guess if you let them dry out a little bit and then give them too much water, like trying to play catch up, a few days before they ripen, they will blow out on you or split. It's happened to me a couple times with some heavy rains that came right before harvest, and I may have let the beds get too dry, and then they soaked up all that moisture and pumped it right into the fruit. So I'm gonna actually back off on the water right now just a little bit because I don't want to risk splitting any of these melons out. Yeah, they look pretty loaded. And right here are my wife's honeydew. The plants don't look so healthy on the honeydew. Some of them have died. Like I've mentioned before in another video recently, we have one of our best pepper crops I've ever grown. Top 5 in 25 years, I think. Absolutely loaded with big, beautiful peppers. No dry black spots or like any kind of blossom end rot or anything like that. They're just gorgeous. Big, blocky, thick-walled peppers. And the plants are very healthy and they're weed-free. That's a plus, because no one wants to pick in weeds. I only have 4.5 rows of bell peppers. We used to plant 7 or 8, but we've backed off over the last few years because we don't need that many. This outside row is jalapeno, and then it turns into habanero for about 100 feet. The rest of them are all bell peppers. If you're wondering why I don't plant any other types of peppers like Hungarian wax or banana peppers, scorpions, cayenne, I mean, my gosh, you could plant 100 different varieties of peppers. We used to do all that stuff, and it was just one of those very labor-intensive things that I did away with. I just like to stick with bell peppers, and the only reason I grow jalapeno and habanero is for our sweet and hot pepper relish that we make at our commercial kitchen. It's a value-added product made from products on our farm that we sell at our farmers markets. We jar it up and make a couple thousand jars a year, and it's been in our family for like 4 generations. I will do a video on that in the coming future, sometime this summer or fall when things start slowing down a little bit. I want to show you our commercial kitchen, show you how my brother makes salsa, his maple syrup, our relish. What else is he doing there? I think he works on his freeze-dried candy business in there a little bit. So yeah, it's a very busy place on our farm, and looking forward to showcasing our commercial kitchen for you in an upcoming video. Right now, I just need to get about a half peck of jalapeno peppers for this farmer's market in Hilliard, which is a suburb of Columbus, and they leave here in about a half hour, so I better get busy. We picked them pretty hard last week, so there's not a lot of big ones, but I would say that's pretty normal size. They get a little bit bigger. You can see there's lots of little and medium peppers on there that'll be really nice next week. I just can't get over how healthy the plants are this year. Very happy with the plant health. Ah, there's what I don't like to see. That's like a sun scald mark. That's the first one I've seen this year like that. But look at these big blocky peppers. Man, gorgeous. These darn morning glory vines, that's why we pull these when they're young. You miss some of them, you can see how bad they get. They're all tangled around this plant. It makes it darn near impossible to harvest the peppers. There's some nice ones. All right, I think that's enough for today's farmer's market. Let's go throw them in the trucks and she'll be ready to go. All right, this truck is ready to go to market. Jalapenos, salsa, garlic, maple syrup. Hard to see back there. Under those empty bean crates are tomatoes. By the way, we use the empty bean crates for propping up our sweet corn off the ground. We got 20 tubs of sweet corn there, 3 bushels of green beans, 2 tubs of zucchini, some bell peppers, cucumbers, and the eggplant we just picked. Sandbags for the tents, or 2 tents, a bag rack, a money box, a credit card machine, a couple scales, sign cards, price cards, some of our sweet pepper and hot sweet pepper relish, quart containers for displaying our green beans and tomatoes, and rolled bags and sweet corn bags and a sweet corn bag rack. It takes a lot to run a successful farmer's market, and if you don't have everything you need, and if you get something critical, it's not going to be a fun experience. I'm currently down here at the other farm, just hooked up to my corn planter, heading out to plant green beans and sweet corn because I think they're calling for some rain tomorrow morning and definitely on Thursday. So this might be my only opportunity this week to get some seed in the ground while it's fairly dry. Yesterday it was a muddy mess, but it dried out a lot overnight because it was windy and it's been really warm and sunny. So I think the ground's fit for putting some seed in. I'm currently set up for green beans, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my green beans out first, probably just like a quarter acre, not a lot. This is gonna be stuff that's ripe in mid-September, so I don't need a lot of beans to harvest once we get that late into the year. I'm planting Valentino. That's my favorite variety. I've mentioned it numerous times in previous videos. In case you were wondering, just a stringless snap bean. And as soon as I get back, I'm gonna switch it over for corn. And today is a big day because it is the final sweet corn planting for 2024. Today is July 16th. And I have planted as late as the 19th before, but I like to make the 15th through the 17th my final planting. If I plant any later now, we run the risk of having an early frost in early October that could burn the corn. And by that time, I don't have much help around. The demand for it at farmers markets has plummeted. I'm tired of picking it. Everyone else is tired of picking it. So I just want corn to get me into maybe that first Saturday, possibly the second Saturday of October. And by planting today, July 16th, that will allow me to harvest sweet corn a few times into early October. So that's the plan, and it's always worked out really well for me. Let's hop on the tractor and go plant some corn. All loaded up with seed. Population we're using today is about 19,000. That is driver 16, driven 22. All right, that is a wrap on sweet corn planting season. Feels awesome to have all the corn in the ground, and it actually worked out perfect. I'm in this 20-acre field right here on the back, and it has all been planted. It's all sweet corn on this side, 4 different plantings. I know you can't really see anything. And then on this half is green beans. And I don't know if I've ever had my acreage come out this perfect. I mean, I literally have 1 drive trail left. That is it. So even though sweet corn's done, I still have 2 to 3 more plantings of green beans, and I'm out of ground. So I think I'm gonna double crop on some of my harvested green bean ground. I've done it before, and it usually works out pretty good. I just have to kill all the weeds, and then I'll seed the new beans right between the rows of the old beans. But right now, I'm gonna go unhook my corn planter, hook up the green bean harvester, and pick some green beans. I'm looking forward to showing you guys this green bean harvester in action. I promise it's coming soon. I got a beautiful patch coming up I'm hoping to harvest next week, and I'm hoping to make a really detailed video about the whole process of picking, packing, washing, and cooling our green beans before we take them to market. But right now, this is where we're gonna wrap up today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you all again real soon down on the farm.